And now, Around the World with Joseph DellaVecchia.
Welcome to Around the World, the part of the show where we celebrate different cultures that are part of the Sheridan community. This week we're joined by Almira Persad, an international student at Sheridan College from Guyana, South America. She's also the host and creator of the Sheridan Life radio podcast, Foodie Facts. Thank you for joining us today, Almira.
Thank you for having me.
So, to start off, how exactly would you describe Guyanese culture?
In one word, probably, multicultural.
Multicultural.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very strong and powerful word.
Yeah.
So, how does Guyanese respond to this multiculturalism?
I think we embrace it. We tend to embrace it. So, because we're such a small country and everyone kind of knows everyone, you grew up with all these cultures, and we tend to celebrate everything. So we celebrate their food, we celebrate their different religions, we celebrate their holidays. So that becomes part of you, and that's what you define yourself as a Guyanese of. So I think that's how we embrace it. We really don't shelter one race or one ethnicity. We kind of just embrace it all.
Now, you mentioned the food, and that's something that you talk about a lot on your podcast, obviously, Foodie
Yes.
Facts. So about that podcast, there's a lot of different cultures used in these foods, and of course in your celebrations, I know. How did Guyanese culture inspire you to create Foodie Facts?
Food is, as I've said before, like it's a very important part of our culture, and everyone is you are expected to know how to cook, and you grew up with food. We have a very strong focus on homegrown and home cooked meals. So from small, you already know how to cook. And I think when I was younger, I was terrified of cooking. So a little bit of shame, a little bit of guilt kind of pushed me to really embrace it and kind of know how to cook. And having friends that also cooked, having family that cooked, and being surrounded by all of that, that really influenced me to make a podcast. And like coming here and seeing how different it is, that also influenced me to compare and see what we have in similar, what we have as differences in food.
So what's so unique about Guyanese culture besides these foods? Like, what is it about it that essentially makes you so proud to be Guyanese?
A lot of different things. The people, for one. Not to say that people anywhere else aren't great, but we're very hospitable. Mm-hmm. Like, we consider everyone as family, no matter where you're from, no matter who you are a family, and we come together as a community very easily. Even though we have our differences, when there is a common goal, we tend to stick together, we tend to defend each other. Our music is different. We have things like soca and reggae and chutney music, which is very different from pop, which we also listen to, but that's kind of a focus. We have different celebrations, and as I said before, all the ethnicities as well, all the holidays, we kind of celebrate all of that together. So yeah, that's
it's really nice.
Yeah.
So finally, what do you think Sheridan can do to support and celebrate its communities and these cultures?
Well, I gotta give Sheridan some props. They are already trying to do that. I see them having different events that do highlight different cultures, but because it's such a big school and there are 3 campuses, it is still kind of divided. Mm-hmm. So I think putting a little more emphasis on the different cultures and making people more aware, not only just the international side, but also internationals about Canada and vice versa. I think that's something that we can still work on. Having different events still that highlight these different cultures, even if it's like a culture day or just maybe different pub nights that are differently themed. Things like that can make people more aware, but not in a very forceful way. Mm-hmm. So more interaction between people would definitely bring that up more, I think.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the first installment of Around the World.
No problem.
Really appreciated it.